Hello, crafty friends, and welcome to Create with Kalia. I'm Kalia. Today I'm going to be using these two pictures for days 5 and 6 of my Days of December album. I'm also going to be using this holly paper and this gold foil paper for my layout. The holly paper is the back side of this piece of the Reindeer Memories DSP. The first thing I'm going to do is cut down my 12 by 12 white cardstock into two 6 by 8 pieces. I then cut down a piece of the holly paper to 4 by 4. I start my cut in the middle, not on one of the corners, to make sure that I don't rumple the corner as I'm cutting. Now I'm going to bring my pictures in with the 4 by 4 holly paper cut on the diagonal in each of the corners. As I bring the photos in, I realize that the holly paper is not large enough and is leaving much more white space than I would like. It also looks very undersized compared to my 3 by 4 photographs. I decide to recut a 6 by 6 piece of the holly paper, and that looks much better to me. I then cut a 1/4 inch piece of the gold foil paper that I'm going to place on the diagonal of the holly paper. I put down some liquid adhesive so that I'll have the opportunity to move the foil paper if I don't get the placement exactly right when I first put it down. I'm going to place it right along the edge of the diagonal of the holly paper because that's a good guide mark for me. And I'm going to do it on the inside edge because I like that the foil paper will then start in the corner of the layout. Now that I have both pieces of the foil paper glued down, I'm going to start looking at what kind of cardstock I want to use to back my photographs. First, I bring in some Pool Party. I really like the combination of Pool Party and Real Red on winter layouts, but for this layout with the greens that are in the holly paper, it just doesn't work. I bring in some Real Red and decide that that's a much better fit for these photos and for my layout. I then decide that I'm going to do some ink blending using Garden Green. So I'm going to tap a blending brush on my ink pad, then tap off a little bit so that I just get a subtle little bit of color going around the edges. I'm going to do some blending on 3 of the 4 edges. I'm going to leave the white edge that connects the two pages uninked because that helps with the flow that I'm trying to establish with having the white next to each other. I then bring in some of the Reindeer Memories and More card pack. I love that the card pack coordinates so well with the DSP, and I've been trying to use some of the cards on my layouts. I like this Believe in the Magic, but it does cover up a lot of the holly paper, and since it's also a 3 by 4 size, it feels a little like it's overpowering the picture. Next, I bring out the red and green stripe paper, and I like that a little bit more, especially tucked behind the photo, but I'm not sure how to bring it into the other side of my layout. When I do something on one side of my layout, I like to make sure that I incorporate a similar element on the other side. I start with mirroring my look from the left-hand page on the right-hand page, and I don't like that because I'm working in such a small format that it doesn't appear different enough. I also then just copy, and that also doesn't feel like it works right for me. I try placing the striped card in a few other locations around my layout, but nothing seems to work quite right for what I'm thinking of. My pictures today are a cover of the movie White Christmas, which is a movie that we always watch when we decorate our Christmas tree. My dad started this tradition when I was a child, and I've continued it with my own children. This year it was so fun to sit and watch my kids enjoy the movie and talk about how much they love it as they sang all of the songs. You'll notice that I've been trying to place this Christmas tree that's part of the Reindeer Memories suite around different points on my layout. I really love this tree, and if you're familiar with the movie White Christmas, you'll know that the movie ends with the characters gathered around a gigantic Christmas tree and singing White Christmas. I thought it would be the perfect element to incorporate into this layout. However, the up close, the granny apple green in the tree just isn't working for me with this layout. The other picture that I have is a picture of a quart of eggnog. I'm telling this story about how every year I buy 1 quart of eggnog. My oldest child and I are the only ones who like it and drink it, and 1 quart is definitely enough, but it's something that we have to have every Christmas. As you can see, I've now brought in the striped paper again with a tag. I've cut a second tag out of garden green cardstock. I always like to bring in more than one tag if I'm going to incorporate them as an embellishment, and when in doubt, tags tend to make a perfect embellishment to finish off a page. I move the tags around a little bit to see what placement I like and what's going to work for this layout. I really like these tags at the top of this picture, and that will end up being where one of my embellishment clusters is. You can see that I'm also starting to try to figure out where I want to place the numbers. I again am bringing in this tree. I just really love the tree and really want to make it work on this page, but in the end, it just does not work. I've stamped my numbers in real red, and I've also backed the number 5 with a gold circle. I really wanted to incorporate some more gold into my embellishment clusters since I have the gold stripe of paper as part of the background. I'm liking this cluster of holly, which is a sticker off of the Reindeer Memories and More card pack sticker sheets. I also bring in some more of the striped paper behind the number 5, which is a sticker from those same sticker sheets. You can see I've also taken a few of the gift stickers and popped them up on foam tape and then incorporated them into my left side embellishment cluster. Now I'm bringing in more gold so that I can add that to my embellishment cluster at the top of my right page. I've die cut a circle out of the gold foil paper and then cut it in half, and then actually even cut it down a little bit more so that it fits well with my embellishment cluster. I want it to cover both the stripe tag and the green cardstock tag just a little bit so that it feels like it belongs there. Next, I'm going to build up my lower right hand embellishment cluster. I've taken the 6 that I stamped and backed that with more of the gold foil paper. Again, you see me bringing in this tree. I'm trying so hard to make it work, but I realized that I've incorporated holly into the other 2 embellishment clusters, and so it feels like I need to bring more holly into this embellishment cluster as well. As I said earlier, what I do in one spot, I like to do in all 3 spots for my embellishment clusters. You'll also see that I've taken some real red cardstock and the holly banner sticker from the sticker sheet to create a ribbon look for both of my tags at the top of the page. I really like what I've started to do with this embellishment cluster, and I like having this little Merry Christmas off of the sticker sheet as part of this embellishment cluster as well. Again, I've popped things up on foam tape to give myself some different levels and visual interest. Next, I have taken my journaling and printed that off on Avery label paper. I'll put a link in my bio below for the paper. As I stick this down, I need to be very careful because it does stick really easily and it sticks very well as soon as it touches down to the cardstock. I also made sure to clear any lint off of the page because anything that is still on the cardstock will show through very easily through this label paper. I've written my story about the movie and about the eggnog on these pieces of the label paper. I printed them off on my inkjet printer and love the effect that's created by putting this clear label paper onto my layouts directly. I work on burnishing in just a little bit with my bone folder to make sure that the label paper blends in as much as possible. Since I've incorporated this striped paper into 2 of my 3 embellishment clusters, I'm going to bring in the second striped banner sticker from the sticker sheet. Again, what I do in one spot, I want to do in all 3, even if it's incorporated in a slightly different way. I cut down the banner because I only need a small piece of it to incorporate it into this embellishment cluster. I tuck it behind the number 6 and stick it down. I have noticed that if you handle these stickers too much, you may need to add some additional adhesive to ensure they stay stuck down. And here's my completed layout. I've created my visual triangle with the 3 embellishment clusters and love that I've incorporated the gold and the striped paper into all 3 of the clusters. I hope you've enjoyed watching this process video. Please make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. I've also included a playlist at the end here so that if you have missed the previous layouts, you can go back and watch those videos now. I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching and craft on.